Time now to talk business. I am joined by Paul Gatling. He's the editor of the Northwest Arkansas Business Journal, and we have a lot to cover from that area of the state. Paul, we have a new head football coach at the University of Arkansas, Sam Pittman. I think everybody is familiar with that, but I find the structure of his contract really fascinating in terms of how Hunter Yurachek has talked about how he wants to structure contracts differently, and then we've obviously seen the big buyouts over the last year from some of the other coaches, not only at the university but elsewise. Kind of break down for me what Hunter Yurachek did.
Well, essentially the contract says we'll pay you and we'll take care of you if you win, but if you lose, we're not going to pay you. And these 8-figure buyout sums that you referenced that are running rampant in college football. So the winning, it's the base contract is a 5-year deal at $3 million a year. But there are incentives built in, like every coach, but there are incentives also for the number of victories each year. If Sam Pittman and the Razorbacks win 6 games next year, his contract will be augmented by an extra $250,000. For 7 wins, it's another $500,000. For 8 wins, he'll get an extra $750,000. So that's incentive enough for winning. As far as the buyout is concerned, we see what Brett Bielema made out with, and Chad Morris and coaches all across the country are making out with these clauses in their contract that's going to pay them these lump sums if they are fired for not having success. So Hunter Yurachek, since he was hired 2 years ago, and I asked him that question in his press conference, said it's not sustainable. He's not for these big buyouts. So in Sam Pittman's contract, if he is fired at any time after the first couple of years and his winning record is not at or above 500, he'll get 50% of what's left on his contract. Now, if he's fired and they have a winning record, which I don't see any way happening. If he's got a winning record, I think we're good with that. But if he's fired and his winning percentage is below 50%, he gets half of what he's remained. So, he's got a head coach that's, just turned 58 years old and has never been a head coach at this level. So it was probably fairly easy for him to present Coach Pittman with a what you would call a line in the sand contract, take it or leave it contract, and he was more than happy to sign it. It's definitely a school-friendly contract for the University of Arkansas.
Well, we will see if this becomes kind of the new norm here. XNA has a new name, as we reported. That little old airport out in that cow pasture in northwest Arkansas is now going to be the Northwest Arkansas National Airport. Why this name change?
Well, I think for perception more than anything. I don't think there's any hard and fast rules for what are the requirements for a regional or a national airport. But when you compare it to peer airports like the Little Rock Airport, the Springfield, Missouri Airport, XNA, it'll still be called XNA. Those call letters won't change. XNA has more direct flights than both of those airports. I think they've got 19 direct flights when you count their seasonal destinations. I think Little Rock has 13, 14, same for Springfield. And from XNA, you can get a direct flight to San Francisco, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, New York, Miami. I think from the Springfield Airport, you can get directly from there to Los Angeles, but those other cities are only available through Northwest Arkansas. So I think some people just kind of clamor for it to, kind of say, hey, look, we're growing up. We're not this little regional airport anymore. So it will be the Northwest Arkansas National Airport. You'll probably see some sign changes, website changes here over the next 5 to 6 months, maybe even longer. It's not an immediate change, but the board did vote this week to change that name to National Airport.
All right, finally, a big $90 million project in Conway with a company called Structurelam that is going to take over a former Nucor facility there. They're a laminated timber company. Not only is this big with 130 jobs for the city of Conway, but there's also a Walmart angle here. I would like for you to explain that to our viewers and listeners.
So Walmart, of course, is building what might very well be the largest construction project in Arkansas. It's several $100 million, maybe even $1 billion project when it's all said and done, who knows. So Dan Bartlett said the other day, before they even had any ideas or discussions about number of buildings and what we're going to build, the idea they very first had was mass timber. Let's look into mass timber. Let's use that. Of course, the benefit is mass timber projects are typically built a little bit quicker than projects with other materials, and a quicker project means you save money. So Walmart started looking into that, and all roads kind of led to Structurlam, really a leader in the the growing mass timber construction market, largest in North America, a Canadian company. And of course, when you talk about timber, you talk about Arkansas pine trees in South Arkansas. Walmart was going to source much of the materials needed for the home office project from South Arkansas, and that soft timber really wasn't a place here in Arkansas to process that wood and then bring it back. And so before they got too far down the road, Governor Hutchinson got involved and said, wait a minute, we don't want to ship this out of state just to bring it back. Let's fix that situation. So got into some discussions with the state and Walmart and Structurlam to possibly bring its first U.S. manufacturing facility to Conway. So they're going to build a $90 million plant. Walmart will be the first customer, and also Walmart is an investor in Structurlam. Of course, that kind of makes sure that they're first in the queue to get that wood to build the home office project. So that should be open in 2021. Hopefully about that time Walmart which they're clearing all sorts of buildings and land and making initial preparations for the construction. So by that time, when they're ready to start putting out the processed wood, Walmart will be ready to start building some of the first few buildings in the home office project. And I really think it's going to have an impact on the construction industry as a whole throughout Arkansas. At some point, Walmart will be done building that home office in Bentonville, but then you'll have this world-class mass timber facility, only one in America, that's in Conway. I think the governor said they're going to build the Fire Training Academy new dormitory in Camden is also going to be using mass timber. So I think you might start to see businesses, private endeavors start looking to mass timber as an option for building in Arkansas. So I think it's really going to have a long-lasting impact in the state past just the Walmart development in Bentonville.
All right, always great insight from Paul Gatling with the Northwest Arkansas Business Journal. He's our editor up there. Paul, thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Roby.
And that is all for today's Talk Business and Politics. I'm Roby Brock. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.